Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my review of the February Beauty Heroes box. This month's Beauty Heroes box features a brand not only the Beauty Heroes has carried before, they were the March or April box last year during 2016, but it's a brand I really enjoy and have purchased products from. It's just a brand overall that I have a lot of respect for and gives me like all the feels. It is Osmia. I want to say Osmia Organics, but apparently, according to the information that I got, now they're just Osmia. I guess everybody goes through rebrands. I can't really keep up. So the hero product this month is the Night Body Oil, a full size. And then the sidekick this month is a lip doctor, which I hadn't tried. I had tried Osmia's Honey Myrrh Lip Repair, which comes in a pot and is kind of more like an overnight treatment. And this I think is more sort of like an everyday chapstick alternative. The sort of little savable Herogram card, I actually filled it out because I kind of want to talk about it. And there's a little space for it to say the optimal time for you to go to sleep, and then a space for 4 little bullet points that encompass your night ritual. So the whole ethos and idea behind this box is a product that will help promote a positive lifestyle habit, which is getting enough sleep. Now, I'm a big fan of sleep, and knock on wood, I have never been a problem sleeper. Like, ever since childhood, I sleep very well, and I feel so fortunate for that because literally everybody I know has sleep problems, and I know how widespread it is. I really like the Beauty Heroes is kind of spreading the message about how to create an evening routine and a product that kind of supports a broader lifestyle habit. So I'll talk about that because I do have thoughts on it. So just by way of like a little bit of background, last year the Osmia hero product and sidekick, actually it was like 2 co-hero products in that box. It was the Osmia Black Clay facial soap, which I used all up and bought my own. I have continued to purchase and really love this product. And then it was the Purely Simple face cream, which I think is a really nice face cream moisturizer, sort of traditional moisturizer for people with really sensitive skin or reactive skin. And then also from Osmia, I do like their bar soaps. This is sort of the cornerstone of the brand, are hand-poured, handmade, handcrafted bar soaps. I'm working through a bar of the Oso Detox body soap because I liked this so much. To be honest, I'm not as nuts about this as I am this. I would like to try their Milky Rose soap after I finish this up, but in general, and I also really like their Vetiver body soap. I've just been really happy with lots of Osmia products that I've tried. I did have the pleasure of meeting Sarah Villafranco. I've met her a couple times. I think she probably only remembers one time. I met her at a Night for Green Beauty very briefly a couple years ago, and then I met her more recently at an event at Faux Lane in Boston. A couple things that I think are unique and worth mentioning about Osmia: they, in addition to obviously being extremely cleanly formulated, they are big promoters of creating awareness around the sustainability of their packaging. That was something that I learned from last year's Beauty Heroes box, and they carry that ethos through like all of their design, and I think that that's amazing. And I feel, I guess, like a lot of small eco beauty brands, they're very focused on women in the economy and sort of promoting women in business. And so that's something that I feel like we don't really talk enough about or highlight enough. They are based in Carbondale, Colorado, which is right near Aspen. So I feel like their products are also infused with kind of the magical energy in Colorado. Sarah herself has a history with perioral dermatitis. So if you suffer from that skin condition or have had to deal with it, I think Osmia is a great brand. Let's transition to talking about the products themselves. So Osmia actually has quite a nice selection of body oils in their range. I had never tried any, have I? I don't think I have, even as a sample. The one that I was always sort of most curious about was the one called, I think they have one called Sunset. I always thought that sounded intriguing. This is what the product looks like. You can see how much I have used. I've been using it pretty much every night for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and that's how much I've used, just to give you an indication of how much I go through. I have only been using this on my arms and like décolleté and like torso. And so I kind of do an upper body massage with a body oil in the evenings. So this product is primarily fractionated coconut oil, jojoba oil, kukui oil, sweet almond oil, rosehip seed oil, hemp seed oil, avocado oil, borage seed oil, evening primrose, sea buckthorn berry, some extracts, and then a proprietary blend of organic and wild harvested essential oils. So the main scent notes in this are French lavender, Roman chamomile, and Moroccan Atlas cedarwood oil. To me, it has like a complex, non-traditional lavender scent and chamomile. And so when I talked about the Maya Chia oil from last month, which actually I want to bracket that and come back to that at the end of this video. I want to give you guys a little update on that box. I feel it's important to do so. So stay tuned to the end of the video for that. But I talked about how the chamomile was so pronounced in that product for me and it was kind of a turnoff. I do detect chamomile here too. It's a different note. It just doesn't smell the same as it does in the Maya Chia oil, and I prefer the chamomile that's coming through in this. So it's less powdery and sort of more earthy, I guess. To me, this is a very calming but like grounding scent. You know, the thing it actually reminds me the closest of that I've ever tried is the Earth Body Sacred Skincare Now Om Kali, I think it was called Ground Body Oil. Totally different consistencies, but the scent profiles were quite similar. This oil has been formulated to calm the nervous system and signal your body that it's time for sleep. So the idea behind it is that if you use it regularly in the evening, it creates a Pavlovian response in your brain, and it's just kind of part of your wind down routine and preparing the body for sleep. They also say that it's supportive of healthy melatonin production. So the instructions for this, instructions say apply to clean, wet skin. Don't dry off before or after for best results. Additionally, on the box, it says that they're on a mission to replace body lotion. Why? Because lotion is just oil and water held together by an emulsifier, which needs to be preserved because it's 60 to 70% water, and that by using body oils on sopping wet skin, you provide the water yourself and pay just for the oil, and that's supposed to create an extra moisturizing experience. Now, I have thoughts on this. Before I get to that though, just a little bit about the Lip Doctor, which I've really been liking, very pleasantly surprised. I had like no sort of expectations. I hadn't really heard anything about this. It's an all-purpose lip soother made especially for those with sensitive skin. It doesn't have any essential oils in it, which can be irritating to some people. So it's organic avocado, argan, and olive oil, beeswax. What's the sixth ingredient? Cocoa seed butter, I think. So I love this. I previously had sort of an inexpensive Whole Foods peppermint balm I had been using. I think it was called like Mango Kiss or something. And then one of like, road rage is real around here. And I had a Wetter Spoon coconut lip balm, and those had sort of been in my rotation. I have since retired those to underneath my sink stash and exclusively been using this. It has a very nutty scent to me, and I'm not sure what that is, if it's the argan, but I can't place it, but I love it. I think it's like the combination of argan and cocoa seed butter. It reminds me of like a chocolate that has nuts in it. I find it moderately moisturizing. I think if you have extremely dry lips, it probably won't be enough for an overnight lip treatment, but for a morning or daytime lip moisture, I think it's quite nice. You know, the lasting power of things like this is only lasts for so long, but I really like it. And you get quite a lot of product in here. It's quite a large tube. I do think the Honey Myrrh lip treatment from Osmia is more moisturizing and better as an overnight lip treatment, but for day, I think this is nice. Okay, so my user experience points on the body oil. I have in the past tried to do the keep your body wet, apply oil, because I have read about how good it is for your skin and how it just like is supremely moisturizing. So first of all, I have always found it exceptionally like tedious and annoying to do, because when I turn off the water to the shower, like I get cold. I don't want to be standing there naked and like wet, first of all. Sort of brush excess water off my skin, put on the oil, and then they say don't dry off your skin after. Sometimes I feel like I'll read that people will say, oh, you can pat your skin dry. Then I find that the oil just gets all over my towel and doesn't really go into my skin. With the Osmia approach, I applied it to damp skin. I didn't sort of towel dry it off. I was like uncomfortable because I'm like cold, but I just went and did sort of like my skincare routine and did like moisture on the rest of my body, and it like pretty much soaked in. And to be honest, I didn't find it to be any more moisturizing than if I had towel dried my skin and applied this as I would normally to like dry, just showered skin. I didn't find it to be anything groundbreaking, honestly, to use that other method of emulsifying the oil with water. I just find it to be a pain. That said, I absolutely really do love this oil applied like my own way of applying body oil, just to dry, freshly cleaned skin. The thing that I think is unique about this that I haven't really found among too many other body oils that I've encountered is that the fractionated coconut oil makes the consistency quite thin, yet moisturizing and easily absorbed. I feel like a lot of other body oils are quite heavy. For example, the Laurel body oil is beautiful, but it's quite heavy. The Max and Me body oils are light, but they don't have the thin consistency that a fractionated coconut oil will bring to a body oil. I think that this absorbs really, really quickly, and I do find it that it's very nicely moisturizing. My skin when I wake up in the morning does feel nicely moisturized. I was part of the cult of like taking showers in the morning to wake yourself up, but definitely in the last like 3, 4, 5 years, I literally can't go to bed without showering. I think it has something to do with being energy sensitive, because if you're like out in the world all day, I mean, and also it's just sort of intuitive, right? Beyond energy, like you're out in the world all day and like you get dirty, especially if you live in a city and you take like public transportation. The thought of coming home from a full day of like being out and about and just putting on pajamas and going to bed, like I don't think I could sleep, honestly. Water, obviously, in addition to cleansing your body, neutralizes any energies that are sort of lingering, or, I mean, I'm a big believer in that, and as someone that is energy sensitive, I can feel that sort of stuff. So it's just, I kid you not, even if I have been out till midnight, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m., those latter hours don't really happen anymore, but they used to. And no matter like how out of sorts I am, I will do a full double cleanse and take a shower and get into bed. I do not care what time it is. Maybe having this will convince you to maybe transition your morning shower to an evening shower. Along with the theme of promoting sleep, I do feel like showering or taking a bath in the evening is very good for winding the body down. So I think that's what I have to say about the body oil. I really like it. The scent I enjoy. I think it's really a beautiful formulation. I think the scent profile is very, very nice and calming, and I feel like it achieves what it has set out to do. So as far as talking a little bit more about an evening routine from the little savable card that comes in the box, so I filled this out like a big dork, and I was like, oh, I want to talk to people about this. The optimal time for me to go to sleep is, now this might make me sound slightly geriatric, but I put 9:30 down as my ideal time. So I don't always go to bed at 9:30, but I endeavor to be in bed with the lights off by 9-ish. Sometimes, like, it depends. Like, sometimes I don't go to bed till 10, 10:30, 11. My night ritual consists of my skincare routine and shower. So literally most days when I come home from work, within 10 minutes of being home, I will get in my robe, start my skincare routine. I just cannot wait to get makeup off my face and get into a shower. So I will do a first cleanse, and then often I will then do like a quick mask for like 10 or 15 minutes, and in that time I'll like preheat the oven or like figure out what I'm gonna have for dinner. And then the next little thing I said is burn a candle. So that's one of my favorite things to do in the evening too. I turn on my Himalayan salt crystal lamps. There's one lit out of frame that you can't see, but I'll do that, burn a candle. I feel like it's just very soothing. And then another bullet I have on here is eat dessert. I am a very big proponent on eating chocolate like every day, unapologetically, but I guess I should have put here eat a nourishing dinner. So I really don't eat out that much. I used to eat out so much more, And I really do take the time to go grocery shopping every week, get healthy food, so eat a nourishing meal and then eat dessert. And then my last bullet, because this is just really what I do, watch Bravo or YouTube. So the way that, oh, I hope that light is not distracting. It's very cloudy, so I think it's just gonna end up going away. The reason I feel like I deviate from a lot of like the typical health advice, wellness advice on how to create an evening routine is like I don't power down my technology an hour before I go to bed. I don't really meditate in the evenings. Sometimes I'll do a light yoga practice and I find that to be really nice and sort of is moving meditation for me. But when I say I want to be asleep by 9:30 or 10, lights out by 9, I'm laying in bed with my iPhone watching stuff on my iPhone. And then when I feel myself drifting off, I turn off my phone and go to bed. And that's just the reality. Like, it doesn't impede me going to sleep. I do have the night shift on my phone. I have my night shift on my phone to start at 8:45 p.m. So if you don't know what that is, it basically turns the blue tones that are you generally would see on a phone or a laptop to be more like red toned, I guess, or like warmer toned. I know that that's not like great health advice, but I personally find it really soothing to watch people apply makeup or watch like beauty videos and fall asleep to that, or listen to people talk about products. Like, I don't know, I don't really feel like bad about doing that either. I would be very curious to hear what your evening routine is and how it may or may not differ from mine. Okay, before we end the video, I do want to do a quick update on the Chia face oil. I feel like I've been getting a lot of like questions about it, and so this product is sort of a miss for me, to be honest. I was sort of like middling about it in my January Beauty Heroes box review, and after using it more, I just started I'm like trying to be diplomatic. I just really started to dislike it, and I started to have a weird aversion to it. Has anybody else experienced this? So I think primarily I do not like the scent at all. I did not really feel like the performance was like that spectacular, even though I've heard everything to the contrary from lots of other people. I literally have heard so many people talking about how much they love this and how moisturizing it is and amazing. I just didn't really find it to be so on me. Beyond that, I have always had kind of a weird feeling about astaxanthin as an additive. And someone in the comments of that video talked about how she had read a study, I don't know if it was a clinical trial or what, it was like a scientific study that talked about how astaxanthin can increase testosterone production. It's not even like that, hearing that per se gave me pause. It was more that it confirmed sort of an intuitive weirdness that I had about it going in. So I will say I'm more curious about the Chia product that does not have the astaxanthin in it. I think it's the super critical chia oil I would be a little bit more interested in. That said, I also have been doing a lot of sort of like holistic thinking about face oils in my routine. I think I talked about that in this video. I do have some updates on it. I do not think face oils are the devil the way Rococo does, and how they sort of bombastically created this mini frenzy over people freaking out about face oils. I do think face oils are still advantageous, and I did a follow-up session with my medical intuitive and I discussed it with him. I just have some evolved thoughts on it, and they're not, demonizing face oils, and they're not saying that the Rococo approach is also wrong. Basically, that a plurality of approaches are all okay, but it's a little more nuanced than that. So I'm trying to think of the best way to share that info with you guys. I don't know if I should just do a video dedicated solely to like my evolving thoughts on skincare. I've recently started using some new Tata Harper products that I am very in love with, and have extended thoughts on that. And Tata Harper's approach to skincare is sort of a little bit closer to the Rococo approach. They're not an face oil dominant range. So yeah, maybe I'll leave that there for now, because this video is obviously already like 3 hours long. I guess I just wanted to say about the Chia. I have tucked it away and sort of removed it from my rotation, so you won't be hearing me use it or talk about it, but I'm very happy that it's worked for so many people. I just kind of wanted to update you guys on my own experience with it. There's not really much by way of other Beauty Heroes news. The only thing is that the Love More promotion for February is going to be a full-size Vapour Organic Siren lipstick in the color Courage, which looks absolutely beautiful in the picture that I'm looking at, when you spend $125 in the Beauty Heroes shop, and that is a $25 value. As always, if you would like to subscribe to Beauty Heroes, I always have a link down below in the description bar, which gets you the February box with Osmia, as well as the subsequent 2 boxes. I actually have no idea what the upcoming boxes are. It's been a while since I've connected with Jeannie, so I don't have any like teasers, but I'm really excited to continue bringing you guys Beauty Heroes discoveries, and I would love to hear about your thoughts and impressions and experience with this month's box. So thank you so much for watching as always, and I always love hearing from you, and you guys are just always so supportive. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.